I'm Paul Mace. In the next 5 minutes, you'll see how Symbolic Flight takes pilots beyond the moving map, letting you pre-fly anywhere in North America using satellite imagery, NavAware weather, and the latest airspace information displayed in Google Earth. The blue marble seen from over 6,000 miles up by fewer than 60 pilots. You can see Mexico, the lower 48, Canada, Alaska, but it's what a pilot cannot see that causes apprehension: boundaries, especially where they don't follow geography. For that we need a map. Weather, especially what lies beneath and within the clouds. For that we want radar.
But we had maps and charts and weather radar 40 years ago when I started flying as a Marine Corps navigator. We had LORAN, we had star trackers. Now we can put it all on a handheld device and the map will scroll as we travel. But in the end, how the information is presented, what we actually see, has not changed with one exception. Here you see my home airport at Ashland, Oregon from 3,000 feet, but you are not in an airplane. You're in Symbolic Flight in Google Earth, where reality is augmented with information you can touch. You are at the controls of a panoramic view of the Earth as it actually appears out the windshield, where runways, airports, boundaries such as controlled airspace, obstacles, and NavAware weather, if we had any weather today, appear to you in 3 dimensions. And because I live in the mountains, not the prairie, so does the terrain. From 30 miles away, at 6,900 feet in the mountains, we can still see the symbol for the Ashland Airport above the horizon. And moving straight towards it, the only thing missing as we pass over the Klamath Knot is the perpetual bump in the air. Below we see Immigrant Lake, a local reporting point. To our left, Interstate 5, and 3 obstacles whose symbols float above the terrain at the actual obstacle height. Without burning a gallon of gas, we can actually see where the airport sits in relation to the town. Ahead we see the Class D airspace of the Medford Airport. The blue lights mark its instrument runways. Medford's airspace extends from the ground to 3,800 feet mean sea level. The obstacle to our right is the Fox Television Tower, and to get around the Class D airspace on the right, we'd have to skirt another local reporting point, Roxy Ann Peak. To see what is in front of one's nose, George Orwell said, needs a constant struggle. True for pilots as well as in politics. Here, Roxy Ann is not only easy to see, it's also readily apparent why local pilots use it to call the Medford Tower for landing on the crosswind runway 27. Notice the light marking the displaced threshold. Symbolic Flight Data is updated monthly. To catch changes like this, it's always at least as current as your paper charts. Notice the MEF non-directional beacon, which is not aligned to any runway. In the distance we have a number of private airports and atop Table Rock, a prominent local feature, the Rogue Valley VOR, OED. Both symbolized and visible, you can see it right down to the shadow it casts. Note overhead we've also picked up some precipitation to the north on the NavAware update, and on the left above the horizon the yellow wireframes indicate warning areas off the Oregon coast. As Google Earth flies us back toward home base, let's consider what we've just seen. The goal from the outset was not simply to duplicate the past using high technology, but to take advantage of modern technology to address how flight information is presented, to help you see what is in front of your nose by utilizing graphical symbols and actual satellite imagery mapped to the 3D terrain. As we ascend once more to astronaut heights, let's talk a bit about Google Earth and the future of symbolic flight. Google Earth is free and runs on Windows, Mac, and Linux. Symbolic Flight Data for Google Earth is $49 for a year's subscription or $19 for a one-time download from NavAware.com. And soon you'll be able to take this vision flying with our B1 wireless black box, which adds GPS, electronic compass, and MEMS attitude gyros. For under $600, you can experience live symbolic flight anywhere in North America.